Hello, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time stopping by the channel, welcome. And if you are returning, hey, thank you so much for being here. Hi, fam. On today's video, I am going to be having a very vulnerable moment with all of us. We know that I moved to another country last year, and I moved here for my education. I'm currently in the US as a PhD student, and I'm in my 30s. I know it's not a big deal because people get degrees all the time, but I would like to just talk about how it has been for me, given that I've had a long break from education. The last time I was in school was 7 years ago. That was in 2019. Not 7 years ago, maybe 6 years ago. And to have taken a roughly 5 year break from school and to be back in school in a different education system, in a different country, in like proper adulthood, and having to learn a lot of new concepts, and just having to like life the same time. Today I am talking about how it has been, and I'm going to try my best to be as vulnerable and honest as possible, not necessarily making a big deal out of it, but just letting us know that we're never too old to accomplish our dreams. We're never too old to do the things that make our hearts throb with excitement. We're never too old to fulfill our dreams. So that's what today's post is about. Basically, it took a lot of energy to relocate in the first place, and it seemed like immediately I got here, there was no time to catch my breath. I immediately just had to become a graduate student and immediately just started to start using my brain to do all the academic things that are required of me. So it felt overwhelming, and I keep saying that taking a break from school and going back to school is a unique experience as opposed to just continuing with your schooling. There's this routine that people form depending on their lifestyle. A student has a different routine from like an employee, and I've basically been an employee for at least 5 years. And yes, I did some studying while I was an employee, but it wasn't like I had to go to school, take classes, study, do assignments, all that. It was different, and having to do that would have required me to take some time to adjust from being an employee for years to being now a student. I feel like I did not get that time, and I also did not get time to like rest from the relocation process. So basically, it was overwhelming for me in the fall semester, and graduate school is a different jungle on its own. Graduate school is not like undergraduate school. There's a lot required from graduate students because the system expects that you're getting an advanced degree and you know a lot of things already, and they're not going to pamper you as a graduate student. They're just going to make demands on you. So I got here, and first off, it was cold as cold can be, one, and the culture was different. I did not know anybody here. I was trying to juggle cultural shocks with like getting used to the new set of people, and academic demands were just hitting me from every side, and it was overwhelming. But one thing I want to share with us today is that you need to be ready for the shock, the academic shock of returning back to school after a long break from school. And you also need to be aware that, but I don't really believe this, but people say being a student in your 20s is different from being a student in your 30s. I think that's just an excuse that people use to like get away with underperforming. I don't think there's anything different. It all depends on the person. So whether you're a student in your teens or in your 20s or in your 30s or in your 40s or in your 50s, I think if you are hardworking, if you are determined, if you are interested in what you do, you will excel. So, being back in school after a long break, being back in school when you are no longer a young person, in terms of when you're no longer in your teens or in your 20s, doesn't have anything against you. It's not going to affect you negatively. It just depends on you giving yourself grace. Something I would like to say is I struggled with my routine and my system, my lifestyle in the first semester when I got here. And it wasn't because of my age, it wasn't because of the break I took. It was just because I hadn't planned and I hadn't prepared and I didn't know what to expect. So it is important to know what to expect when you move into a new academic environment. It is important to prepare to do your background research. So I encourage everyone that is planning to relocate to study abroad to do some background research on the academic environment that you are going into and the demands that your program, your university, or your institution is going to put on you. And even while you're busy with your relocation process, just also have in mind that you are going to be a student and the academic system doesn't wait for you to adjust to the weather. It doesn't wait for you to adjust to the culture. It continues running. So you need to prepare. Some helpful preparation tips that I would give any potential international student is that they should, when they are selecting the courses for the semester, they should run background checks on the course content. They should have an idea of the topics in the courses, have an idea of, the syllabus, and, start doing some overview of what the course involves. They should also have an idea of the system, like how often do you get assignments, how often do you get exams. They should have an idea of their class schedule for the semester. They should basically just know what they are signing up for. They should reach out to the professor that handles the courses and request materials to prepare for the courses. They should reach out to students that have taken the courses before, and also individually, they should prep themselves that they are going to do studying, they are going to do classes. They should familiarize themselves with their timetable, that's like their class schedule. And just while you're going about your relocation, flight ticket, visa appointments and everything, just also prepare yourself for what is to come. And I strongly advise you probably have a meeting, a Zoom meeting with someone that is in your department that has gone through the first year before, to just ask them how it is, what is expected. So these tips will really help you transition into graduate school in the international space. Overall, it was hectic at first. It was hectic during my first semester. I struggled. It was also hectic in my second semester, but as soon as I started to be more prepared and anticipate academic expectations and just prepare instead of just having them happen to me all of a sudden, I started to find my balance. I found an academic routine. I kind of balanced my personal life with my life as a student, and I can say now that I'm at the tail end of my second semester that I'm starting to feel like my feet is on the ground. And I'm sure anyone coming in for the first time would also be able to handle, being back in school, regardless of your age, regardless of your race or your background. I'm sure you will be fine. If you have any questions, if you want to ask me about how it is to transition back into school and how it is in the international academic space, yeah, sure, you can leave questions in the comments or reach out to me. Thank you all so much for being here today. Bye.